Morning. Nothing really new to speak on. Mini camp this week, which is really just like it's been. It's OTAs. There's no change. We get them in the building a little longer, so we'll be able to watch practice, with them afterwards. And that's really it. As far as the practice, it's the same as OTAs. There's no difference. So, other than that, on a lighter note, went to Grand Rapids this weekend for my daughter's volleyball tournament, which was awesome. It was good stuff. A lot of fans out there, so and they were great, man. So, a couple of questions I got asked that the people wanted to know answers to was, one of them was, does Frank Ragnow really bring an axe into work every day? Yes. One was like Hutch. Can Hutch really dance in real time? No. Somebody asked me about Lee McNeil. Does he really drink Michelob Light? I said, no. There was just a few of these things that came up. But listen, on a serious note, it was good to get out there, and a lot of good fans out there, and it almost felt like, it was, hey man, don't forget about us, and we don't. So it was good to get out there. Had a good time. Festival of the Arts was going on, so it was good. It was a good weekend. They did really well. They got beat in the gold bracket, but they played really, really well. Best they've played all year.
The logistics are easier said than done. Do you ever consider doing like a weekend of training camp out on the west side of the state?
Yeah, I actually thought about it. A lot of it comes down to the logistics of it. Where are we practicing? What's the turf like? What's the field? So we've thought about it, but that's about as far as it's gone. But
do you feel a different vibe now from the fans than you did when you first got here as head coach?
No. Well, here's what I would say is it's just, we don't get out there. We don't get out to that side. I mean, we're here in Detroit, and so I think it was, to be able to get out there and interact with the fans and be around it was pretty cool. And so I just think it was a very fresh energy out there, is the best way to put it. Anyway, it was awesome. It was a good time.
What's the most common question you get about Jared Goff? Or media or anybody?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't feel like most common question. Man, I don't know. That's probably like most guys. Is he really a good guy? I get that a lot with all players, and about our players, and I would say absolutely, they are that good a guy. He is that good of a guy. Sometimes I think when you're the quarterback of an NFL team, it feels like you're untouchable. Celebrity, movie star, things of that nature, and our guys really aren't that way, So just in that regard, they're very open, and I think they embrace the fans and the support.
Kind of a cool, calm, collected guy. We don't get much out of his personality, when he's speaking with us all the time. But, when you talk about just the last couple of years, his mindset, what do you see anything differently from him entering the season? Is he more comfortable, or just how would you describe him going into the season so far from what you saw?
Well, I think probably a lot of what you would think. I think he's settled in with us. He's gotten very comfortable with what we want to do. I think he's, everybody knows it's what he came from, and that wasn't the easiest thing. You get traded, you're another team. What's going on? I thought I was playing pretty good. Maybe I'm not. Is that the perception? I get here and. So you're trying to find your way with a new staff like we are, new offense, but he hung in there, and I think what you're seeing is a guy who just put his head down and went back to work and worked on what he could, tried to improve on what he could, and now his confidence is really grown, and along the way he's matured as a quarterback. I mean, he's a better quarterback than he was there, in my opinion. Because he can do more things. He's mentally on it. I mean, we've come light years ahead of where he was 2 years ago when we walked in and just start teaching him protections and really, dove into that. And he's got a real good grasp of what we're doing, where the issues are, where the problems are, and that's something that we really wanted him to get good at, and he wanted to get good at, and he's worked at it and he's improved. So that helps you.
It's kind of a big statement to say he's a better quarterback now than he was with the Rams when you took him to the Super Bowl. Like, how can you quantify that, or what is it you see in him that has made him?
We ask him to do a lot more, in my opinion, than what they were actually doing out there. They had a lot of pretty good pieces out there, as well as we know, damn good defense, all those things. But I just feel like I know from speaking with him, and then a lot of the things, and watching him really over the last 2 years, I just feel like we ask him to. We put a lot of things on him where I'm not so sure that was ultimately what they were doing.
How much did you factor in? At the end of his time with the Rams, his relationship with McVay wasn't great. How much did you factor into that, your approach to working with him, as far as understanding you need to have a strong relationship, head coach, quarterback?
I think that's with any player, though. I think that comes with any player. I mean, you're going to want to have a strong relationship. Certainly, quarterback, head coach, have got to be tied to one another. But you want to get off on the right foot. You want to make sure there's a trust there. There's a bond. It's got to be earned. You can't just say it. It's going to take time. And I think here we are in year 3, and I very much believe he trusts me. He trusts what we're doing, and I trust him. That's a big part of it. The whys, why did this happen? Why was the decision made? That's I've got nothing to do with that. But I know that it all worked out for us, and I'm happy that it worked out for us.
And you guys, slow starts kind of hurt you the last 2 years, and you came back to bite you, missing the playoffs last year. How important is it to have a better September this year, and what are you doing now? What are the things you're sort of emphasizing now or doing now to maybe help you in that cause?
Yeah, you go back and forth, and that's something that I'm always thinking about. All right, how do we do this? Is there a different approach? Were we too light? Were we too hard? Do we need to be more volume? Do we need to be more intensity? And so I think everything right now, it doesn't necessarily pertain to what you're asking, because we're so far away from training camp. Now it's about the X's and O's right now, the situational work, which we're getting a ton of, but I think it's, as far as the way we go about business, I think we're on track. And I think some of it is just is tinkering with what I said. Do we need to do a little bit more, maybe early situational work in practice? Like, that's how we start. Maybe we start practices. They come right out of stretch, and there we go. Those are little things I'm thinking about. How do we get off to a fast start in a game and in a season?
It's more of a bigger focus in training camp, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't say right now because there again, you start doing that, and you get them ramped up, and then all of a sudden, we're too physical, and then that's not what we're supposed to be doing in spring. So. But yeah, I mean, I think about it. I'm not turning a blind eye to it, and so there's a few ideas I have. But it's a slippery slope. You go too far one way or another, and you're in trouble. But I'll keep my eyes on it, certainly.
Dan, we've seen the defense do a lot of talking out there on the field when they make plays. Do you get a sense that they have an added chip on their shoulder this year in the offseason? And how do you expect maybe the offense to handle that? Do you expect maybe any more chippiness as the defense keeps chirping?
Well, look, I think defensively, those guys got a lot of pride about them. It starts with our D coordinator. I mean, Aaron Glenn is a prideful coach, and he expects greatness out of that room, and that's everything that we've been talking about now going into year 3 is, we got to get better, and we want to be a top-tier defense. And so with that, it's the way you go about your business, but it's also the pieces you have as well. And so, it just happens to be some of those pieces we added, they have a lot of confidence, and that's not a bad thing as long as it's directed in the right the right place, you know, and they're focused on their job but having a good time with it. So I think that stuff can be contagious if it's there again. It's not overboard or it's taken away from their focus of their job. And ultimately, what happens is it bleeds into your offense because they get frustrated, and then that's why I kind of like it because it forces you to, you know, you kind of find out the guys that they want to shut them up, but they want to do it with their actions, the way they play, the way they perform. And you can also rile up an opponent to where he does something stupid that could cost your team. And it's good to get those in practice too, so that once you get in the game, you've been there. And you don't let somebody get under your skin.
We got a first look at Parker Romo the last time we were out here. You also brought Riley back to trade with the Jags. Just how wide open is that kicking competition as you track toward training camp?
Yeah, it's open. You know, we've told all those guys it's a competition. That's why we have 3 guys right now. So all 3 of those guys are very much live. You know, we've been trying to make an emphasis of competition at every position, and kicker is no different. And so those guys know that, and that was just a little bit the other day. You know, it certainly looked good for Romo, you know, being out there, but we're also there again. We're not in real time. Nobody's got pads on. We don't have fans. There's not a crowd. There's not a true opponent. There's not a, you know, and it won't be the last time we do something like that. You know, we do want to create that type of environment where there's a little more stress involved if you can, but it'll never be the same as being in a game, you know, in a critical moment. But we like all those guys, you know. We like the competition in the room.
Who's sitting out today? Anyone just that you're
Oh, probably 15, 20 guys, maybe 30. I don't know. We'll find out when we get out there.
You name them for us.
Montgomery.
All 30. Montgomery, he will not. Who else? Who else you want to know about? Rodriguez won't. Who else?
Anyone that you're overly concerned with at this point, you're just trying to get it
No.
off the summer, basically.
Yeah, I'm not worried. But if there's anybody else you guys want, let me know. Hooker's not going to be out there. I mean, he'll be out there for walkthrough, but he's coming off ACL. You guys know that, right? Frank will be out there for walkthrough.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you could suit up again for a player or two? A drill?
For a play, yeah, that's about all you can handle. Maybe that'd be it.
One last housekeeping. The Giants are doing 3 days of joint practices with them.
There'll be 2 with them.
2.
And then we'll go our separate ways day before the game. Then we'll play against each other. Same thing for Jacksonville.
Did you see the photo where your teammates dressed up Jared Goff a bit with all the bling and everything?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Just wondered. They were trying to get him out of character, I think.
No, I missed that. I didn't see that. All right.
Thanks, Dan.